We're talking with Nick Turner from Rabobank. Nick, your messages today to this grain forum about the future in the next 6 to 12 months for the grain industry. What are you seeing as Rabobank about demand and supply?
Okay, sure. Obviously in the last couple of months, Bruce, we've seen some significant changes in the landscape, all based around the back of the big drought that's going on in the States at the moment, okay, and that's causing a massive impact on the corn crop, which is filtering through to the other ag commodities, in particular wheat. Soybeans, they've been short for a little while, and that impact's flowing through to the canola prices as well. So the next 6 months, I would say it's all looking reasonably positive as far as prices go. I guess there's always you always think that potentially something may go wrong, and something that may go wrong is probably more related to the big macroeconomic picture, particularly what's going on in the Eurozone at the moment. There's a lot of countries there under enormous pressure. They're talking about additional bailout packages and restructuring, and they've got the President of the ECB coming out saying we're going to do whatever it takes to save the euro, to save the Eurozone, and save the euro currency. So if that does happen, well, we're not going to see a big skittling of the markets, but if something does go wrong, well, that skittling will certainly flow onto the ag markets.
So we've seen the futures markets really behave in a very positive way and jump quite significantly, and then they've settled a bit in recent times. But is that totally speculative, or is there really a strong linkage with the physical market?
It would be a bit of both, I would say, Bruce. So there's definitely been some fundamental change that has gone on in the last 2 months in particular. Once again, all based around what's going on in the States and the drought. So that's fundamentally causing some supply issues. And the market, I suppose, it doesn't matter if it's the ag markets or whatever futures market there is at the moment, there's an enormous amount of speculators in the game, and those speculators are certainly pushing and pulling the markets around, and they're adding to the volatility. The volatility is going to remain because we've got an increase in participation. And whilst ever we've got stocks or supply issues, then those issues are just adding to the volatility as well.
Now, you showed us with the metals that they've actually come off the boil, but is it a case that the speculators have just come out of that market and moved into the grains market rather than the physical market coming off that much in the metals area?
Yeah, once again, Bruce, I think it's a bit of both. There would certainly be some fundamental issues going on, so that I think it's well known that globally things are just a little tight. We're getting reports every day that economies are slowing, not only in Europe but also in the States, and then you've got the Asian economies that they're still growing, but they're not growing as strong as what they were 12 or 18 months ago. Okay, so their usage on those base metals is starting to reduce. And then you also have, I suppose, the added impact that, okay, well, when the speculators decide that a particular commodity has run its race, well, they start to bail as well, and that's causing the additional volatility in those markets.
What's the risk, though, that they'll just bail out of grains?
It's a possibility. There is no doubt about that at all. And why would they do that? Well, they would do it if, for whatever reason, the fundamentals just started to change a little. And it's probably not going to take a big change to see all those speculators bail. Funds at the moment hold a record long position. If, as I said, if there were some fundamental changes that did happen, and it might just happen to be that maybe the corn crop isn't as bad as what all the reports are suggesting over in the States, or maybe we get rain here in Australia, or we get rain in the Black Sea, those funds will start to liquidate their positions, and they'll go from a net long position to a net short position very quickly.
Thanks for talking to us today.
Okay, thanks, Bruce.